Oh, you know what? Before I do this, I got called out on forgetting the recent Galactic Attack versus Darius Gaiden poll that I put up. I kind of forgot to talk about it last week, so I apologize to folks who voted and then we didn't end up talking about it. But pretty much like Pat and I kind of summed up when we talked about the original post was that we feel that Galactic Attack is overall a more solid game. It is like the vertical shooter of the bunch, and it does have like this sky to ground mechanic with the targets, lock on targets, and it's a little easier, I think, than Darius Gaiden, which just kicks your butt. So that's the way most people felt. We had 65 votes and 55.4% favored Galactic Attack. So wasn't a landslide, it was close. So obviously there are feelings about this on both sides, but it ended up going Galactic Attack both on Twitter and on Facebook. So wanted to just mention that before I move on to the next poll that we just had, which was Gex versus Rayman.
Yeah, they made the good choice on that one. Galactic Attack is way better.
I agree. That was my personal choice too. I like Darius Gaiden, and I know Nick loves Darius games, but I do personally feel like Galactic Attack is like the better shooter. And I mean, those are the two shooters that folks in the US got. Like if they weren't importing, those are the two that they got domestically, published by Acclaim. So good Taito shooters. You can't go wrong with either of them. Then we got Gex and Rayman. Did you say you haven't played either of these?
No, I played Rayman.
You played Rayman, but you haven't played Gex, right?
No.
Okay. And I really think you'd enjoy Gex. I do. The platforming is solid. You got the wisecracks from Dana Gould. You've got different levels which have different themes, and you have to collect these remotes, to put them in the and you save your game by finding these VHS tapes and putting them in the VCR. It's kind of fun, I personally like Gex because I've got nostalgia for it, and I feel like it's the more fun game. But I do feel like Rayman is kind of like the correct answer in terms of what's universally accepted, I guess, as the answer. And I mean, most people agree, because 90 out of 95 votes in just 3 days, you have 61% going with Rayman over
yeah, they made the right choice.
Yeah, 38.9, around 40%. So it's 60-40, most people favoring Rayman.
I just think Rayman's. Yeah. I think it's the most beautiful out of both of them. I think Gex looks alright, but I think Rayman just looks so beautiful, and
it is beautiful. To
be fair though, it might have even more development time, because wasn't it supposed to be on the SNES back in the day? And
it was, yeah. There was they really. I mean, and Rayman games are already known for being multi-platform, to an extensive degree. I mean, the Rayman 2 was on so many different platforms, but yeah, no, it's definitely, it is the game that Ubisoft was built on. It's kind of like the game that made them what they are. Whereas Crystal Dynamics was doing a lot of weird stuff. They did a lot of full motion video stuff. They did the Slam and Jam games. They did a lot of different stuff, and I mean, not all of it was the same quality, but definitely Gex was kind of their flagship game, and almost they packaged it at one point with 3DOs, to sell the 3DO. So it was definitely a good game. But yeah, I think most people will agree at the end of the day that Rayman is the better game, objectively better game. Gex is just it's just my favorite. I like Gex a lot.
Yeah, but you have bad taste, so I mean.
But I have bad taste.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I'm just joking. I really like the look of it from what I've seen gameplay of, so I think it'd probably be right up my alley. So I definitely want to try it.
Mm-hmm. I think you'd enjoy it. It's a solid platformer. There's really not anything bad I can say about it. I guess I just can't argue that it's better, objectively better than Rayman.
But here's the bigger thing. What's better, Gex 3D or Rayman 2?
Gex 3D or Rayman 2? Rayman 2. Rayman 2 is phenomenal. Gex 3D is Enter the Gecko is fun, but it's forgettable. Probably this is another one of those fetch quest. It's one of those. It's kind of one of those fetch quest platformers where I think Rayman 2 is just much more story to it and everything. But
Night Dragon's having a conflict. He doesn't like I'm saying SNES.
SNES, okay.
SNES. There's like 12 things: SNES, SNES, Super Nintendo, Super NES. The second Nintendo console that was 16-bit.
Yeah.
So sounded like that.
But yeah, you know, I mean, folks are entitled to their own opinion. I just personally would, if I'm pulling it off the shelf, I'm gonna play Gex more than I would Rayman. I don't even remember.
I thought you were gonna say that. So people can have their personal opinions, but Gex is objectively better. Yeah.
Well, also, I don't know if Rayman has saves, and I know Gex has saves. At least on the 3DO, it does. On the Saturn, I think they ditched the saves for a password system, which kind of sucks. I don't know why they do that. When they have saves, they take it. I don't know. Anyway, but either way, you know, they're both great games, and it looks better on the 3DO because the colors are better, but it runs better on the Saturn because the frame rate is better. So and you have the Saturn D-pad. So